Welcome to Sunday Morning Live. I'm Sean Fletcher.
And I'm Ria Hebden. Coming up on today's show, a legal challenge against the so-called Snoopers Charter has failed. We'll debate whether we should be worried about our privacy.
Also, dating in modern Britain. We'll find out how to make sure you meet someone who shares your values. Now, the dating scene has undergone a revolution in the past decade, with more and more couples now meeting online. Today, there are all sorts of specialised dating apps and services, including some religious ones. Ria is on the piazza with some guests talking modern love.
Well, Shakespeare did say the course of true love never did run smooth, and that's certainly true. But what if you're not only looking for love, but someone to share your faith with too? Well, I'm joined here today by a few different people who can give us an insight into the wonderful world of faith dating. Honey, I'll come to you first. You're a psychologist. Tell me, why is it important for some people to date someone of the same faith?
Well, there are a number of reasons. There are some practical reasons, which is that, you know, for someone whose faith maybe takes them to church or synagogue or something on a regular basis, they want their partner to be able to integrate with that. But on a deeper level, there's also an emotional part to that, because one of the things we know that predicts longevity in a relationship and the success of a relationship is having a shared value base and shared value system. And of course, our values are often very intrinsically linked with our faith. So.
Right. And traditionally, you know, you'd meet your potential partner in the local community, maybe at the church or the synagogue. How is that changing?
Well, it's really changing because we now live in much more of a global society. That means we live in a multicultural community, which is a great thing and it's fantastic, you know, now that we've got diversity. One of the problems with that, though, is that it means that people tend to migrate away from their families of origin. They tend to move away from perhaps their hometown, where 20, 30 years ago, that's where you would tend to meet your partner. So now you actually have to actively look for someone who shares your faith or your value system on a much more kind of directed level. And that's why I think it's good that we now have apps and online sites and specific things put in place so that people can seek out like-minded partners.
OK, and on the subject of apps, Shazad, you've launched an app called
Muzzmatch, yes,
Muzzmatch, that's the one, yes. Tell me about that.
Yes, so Muzzmatch is an app for Muslims looking to find a partner. You know, I commonly say, look, Muslims don't really date, we just marry. And that's the kind of intent. Right. And I realised that mainstream dating apps just didn't really cut it for the Muslim community. So literally set it up, you know, 4 years ago, and now 1.5 million people around the world have actually used it. Over 30,000 people have actually found their partner on it. So it really does work.
And have you had weddings through it?
Yes, we've had weddings right across the world. And exactly as Honey said, you know, it's online really now kind of complements, as well as, you know, almost takes the place of the family networks, the matchmakers in the community, etc. And it's increasingly working for a lot of young people.
Wow, and is it still important for young people? You know, is it a good way for young people to connect and maybe meet their potential life partner?
Yeah, for sure. I think for a lot of young people, they do want to, especially young Muslims, want to be really empowered to find their own partner. You know, they're under a lot of pressure from family, you know, there's culture, there's religion as well to factor in. For a lot of young people, they're trying to explore this part of their life and obviously find a partner that really suits them. And apps, I think, really do help them kind of really find that.
Fantastic. OK, well, I want to have a chat now to Anika. Now, you organise events for people in the Sikh and Hindu communities, don't you?
Yeah.
How are they going?
Really, really well. We've had 5 weddings and 2 babies born out of it.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping one of them will be called Anika, but we'll see.
And what do you think the challenges are for people to find people of the same faith?
Well, I think going back to what Honey was saying, so back in the days, there were so many community events. Nowadays, in our generation, there doesn't seem to be many events held for the community. So I create activity-based events where I can get them together and create those opportunities for them. They can let their dating guard down, have fun, and let their personality shine through, and that's where the weddings have taken place, basically.
Wonderful. Now, Joff, you run a website. It's an app called Christian Connection, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And that specifically connects people of the Christian faith together from all around the world.
That's right, yeah.
OK, so tell me, you know, is it important to you that you meet somebody that shares the same faith? Why is that such an important thing?
I think for Christians that want to put God central in their lives, their faith really impacts on everything, you know, from how you spend your time, your money, and ultimately who you want to settle down with. So, as I think we've heard, it is about shared core values, and we know from social studies that if you have shared values from the outset, that can lead to longer, happier relationships.
OK. Well, on that note, I want to talk to a few single people here. Hello.
Hello.
Tell me, is it important to you to find a partner who shares the same faith as you?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're older and you have a family of your own, you kind of just want to have the same values, because it's just easier to raise children. If you have the same values, then it's just, you're already like plain sailing, really. So, yeah.
And what about you? Do you use the apps, or do you prefer to meet people in the real world?
Well, I thought I preferred to meet people in the real world. I came off the app because I was quite fortunate to start seeing someone. Whilst we are both Muslims, we do have different sort of ideologies, whereas I'm a Sunni, she's a Shia, and we're seeing how that goes. So that's what one of the benefits of using the app is. It can bring two different people you usually wouldn't meet in these places together. So watch this space, really.
Watch this. Well, I wish you luck with that.
Thank you very much.
OK, let me talk to two couples now who've had a lot of success through faith dating. I'll come to you first.
Hello.
Why is it important to you to have met somebody who shares the same faith as you?
It's the fundamentals of it, really, of Christian Connection, and being the kind of website that they're born-again Christians, and, you know, your faith is more, to me, in my life, in God. To meet Lydia, it's been amazing.
Yeah. And you two have met, you've got married, you've had twins, is that right?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So has faith always been an integral part of your life, and very important, again, to find someone in your potential life partner?
Absolutely. I mean, my faith is the central part of me. It's, you know, it helps me run my day-to-day life, and meeting someone that also shares that faith means that we can go to church together, we can pray together, and also, you know, now raising our children, we can raise them with our shared beliefs, and there's no, you know, problems with that. We just support each other.
Wonderful. Well, I'm certainly feeling the love here. Back to you, Sean.
Yes, a really good vibe out there. Thanks, Ria.